Welcome to this week's market analysis, and we are looking at the US market. This is ETF for S&P 500 SPY on the weekly chart, and this week we saw the follow through to the downside from the Don't Demand bar. However, buyers are able to step in to close the S&P 500 up on the highs with increase in volume. So that suggests that we might be seeing a test on this coming week, and it will be a test at 137.80 level. I will be quite watchful to see whether how are we closing this coming week. If we are able to close above this level here, then I would think there is more upside to come for the S&P 500. Basically on the structure itself, we are seeing higher lows, higher highs, higher lows in a uptrend manner, and on this up move here we are seeing bars, or the up bars are closing on their highs, which is very strong signal, sign of strength. And then on the down bars, spreads are narrowing, so we will be seeing a more upside to come to test this 142.12 level. Probably might be breaking out and giving us a new high and in the coming months of this year. So let's take a look at the daily chart. On the daily chart, we are still seeing this up move still intact, this uptrend where we see a higher lows here, and we are now having some sell-off coming in at this level here. Basically I was expecting some sell-off to come from the no demand, but I was expecting some demand to present at this level, because we have some confluence of a demand line with resistance now becomes support, and demand does came in at this level here, where we saw these two bars of selling coming in on the high volume after the sell-off here, but the volume is high, and we see sellers are not able to make any down move, or any significant down move. So this is more of a effort versus result from the sellers, and means that sellers are not able to produce much significant result from their selling. So from this volume here, we can deduce that there is a superior force that's stopping for price from going down. So the superior force must be demand. And then on Friday we saw that immediate response to the upside. Although volume is low, which is not uncommon to see this happen, because what we are seeing here is that sellers are not able to produce any downside result from the high volume, relatively high volume here. So there is some absorption of absorption of all the selling orders here, which might probably make a less supply condition for market to move up. That's why market is able to move up through from the lower volume, and then is coming all the way up into this supply bar here. I am going to expect more of a upside to come this coming week, and I will probably have thinking of a test, probably probably another 2 or 3 bars to come up here to test the 137.80 level. And if we do see some strong up move and breakout of 137.80 level, and we trade above it and close above this level, then I think we are very likely to see further up move to come into the 140, above the 140 area, perhaps to come to the 142 to test in probably another 1 or 2 weeks time. And because we have a confluence of a trend line and the trend channel at this level here, so I would expect some supply to come in, and probably a sideways movement or some absorption behavior to happen at this level here. To the downside, I do not think the downside odds are playing out at this moment, because we are seeing price are holding very well above their midpoints of the up moves here. So I would be thinking more the buyers will be more to the upside, which a much higher percentage of odds going to the upside, and very little odds going to the downside. Nonetheless, if you're going to the downside, then I would think that the midpoint of the 131.68 level will probably provide more support for the market, as we can see demand has already been coming in at this level. So I would be watchful. If we broke this level and come back down with a much higher volume, then I think that we will probably likely to see more downside. But this scenario is of a little possibility, or little percentage of probability to happen. So that is my take for the S&P 500 in the coming week, and let's go to the Jakarta Composite Index. This is Indonesian market, and we are looking at the Jakarta Composite Index weekly chart. Basically this week I was expecting some test at the 4038 level, and then we probably continue to move up, but we do not see the test. Instead we see a trading range below the 4038 level, which was represented by this bar here. Although we have sellers brought the JCI down towards near to the midpoint of this down move, but yet we are not reaching there, and then we saw buyers coming back and close it on the high. Volume is low. The spread is narrow, so I would think that this is probably like a test bar to me of this high up move here. So I would be thinking that for next week we are likely to test the 4090 level, and then probably going to break out of this 4090 level very soon, maybe next week or the week after. So in the overall structure, I just have to mention, in the overall structure we are still seeing some up move to come, although this down move has a very serious implication of the price action, but we are not seeing volume coming in, so it might just be some profit taking and some lack of demand buying in the market. But however, we see some demand pick up at this level here. Wave volume doesn't tell us that there is more selling coming in, so I think that the up move from the previous trend of the last few years will probably be continuing itself, and this is probably a big sideways movement, and we are now pressuring to the upside. So I would think that we might have some upside to come for JCI. On the daily chart, and I was drawing in this reverse use of trend lines since this high, and trying to see whether price will come back to test this level here. Since we have already broken the normal use of trend channel, and but we see Friday bar, we came back up to the backside of this demand line, and on the Thursday we saw a spring, and Friday was the response to the upside. Although volume is low on the Friday bar, but the spring bar has a very high volume, so there might be some absorption going on, absorbing all these selling orders, and then leaving the market with a little supply. That's why market is able to move up, closing on the high with just a little volume. However, we want to see more confirmation that the movement up, or the whatever buying going on here has attraction of a follow buyers, and we will want to see up bars with an increase in volume moving through towards the 4090 level. I would expect it to break this 4090 level and then to move up through it. Else, if we fail before the 4090 level, then I would think that this trading range between the 4090 level to the low of the spring would probably be the trading range for next week, and probably another week to come. And that is more on the upside. Downside, I would be not be thinking that price will come back into the spring bar, as we have a high volume here. Probably might have a test, but I will not expect it to come deeper into the spring bar. Once we see some high volume down bars closing on the low deep into the spring bar, then I would think that there might be more downside to come for Jakarta Composite Index, because that range here, or this trend here, would have been would probably likely to be broken, because this range here will be broken, and the trend here will be broken, and we'll probably be more seeing more downside for the Jakarta Composite Index. However, I would still be having bias to the upside, and I would think that the 4090 level is likely to be tested and broken. So that is my take for Jakarta Composite Index in the coming week, and let's go to the Hong Kong market. This is Hong Kong market, and we are now looking at the Hang Seng Index weekly chart. Basically this week we saw a gap down, and then we see sellers bringing Hang Seng all the way down towards the 1900 level and closing on the low with increase in volume. So that might just suggest that Hang Seng might want to venture downwards, probably into this level here of 18056 level. Maybe we will see a test there, basically because this is a high volume area that we have not seen any tests at this moment. So if any rally that I'm expecting for Hang Seng to come, I would want to see it comes down to this level for a test to show us that there's no supply at this level. Then we probably might see some good up move on the Hang Seng. Else, if we are going to carry out on this up move here, so then I would think that strength might have to come in much more to push Hang Seng all the way up. But on the weekly chart, the signal is actually quite mixed. Basically what I'm seeing here is that at this level we might be a buying zone. As price comes down to this level, we see some effort to go down, but we don't see any result, and that represents some buying going on at this level. But and also coming to this on the left hand side, we are seeing price dips down, goes back up, dips down, goes back up, seems similar from here. So there is some buying going on at this level here, and this is a confluence is coming into that zone, and we see price response to the upside again. However, on the up move, we are not seeing volume coming following through with increase in volume, but instead we see a decrease in volume. So there is no demand in pushing Hang Seng up here, and even we can see that the effort wasn't put in to push Hang Seng above the 20,000 level. Then this week we see selling coming in, as we see an increase in volume on selling, and it closed all the way towards the 1900 level. So on the overall, it doesn't really suggest that there's some strength coming in, or Hang Seng is preparing itself to move even higher, but nonetheless the signal is just mixed. But I would think that this level might represent another buying is a buying zone. If the price is going to come back down to this level for a test and we see a no supply, that's probably be signaling or suggesting that Hang Seng might be preparing itself to go up. Let's look at the daily chart. And on the daily chart, this up move is still intact. We have not made a lower low yet, so but we are in a danger of making a lower low at this moment, I would say, because we have broke the uptrend channel, and the way it broke the uptrend channel is a little bit too easy, because we do not see any hesitation. We do see some two bars of hesitation, one narrow spread bar and then the other one broke down and then rallies back up, but we have not seen any effort or the result from the high volume here rally. But we do not see that buyers trying to bring Hang Seng all the way up above the previous bar high. Instead, we just close almost a level, and then we see the next bar we came down with an increase in volume. So it just suggests that selling might have come into the market at this moment, and we are also seeing a sort of like a no demand bar, but I would think that it is probably too early to say that, because we are seeing at this level we have seen some testing, but of course this bar has probably negated whatever testing that's happening here, because we have seen supply coming in on this bar here. So we are, if any rally is going to come, it has to negate this down bar here. So on Friday we are not seeing that rally or the demand coming into the market, so it really makes this bar a no demand bar. But I'm still in doubt about this bar, because the next bar will probably have, if there's no demand, the next bar must be an up bar, and the up bar will have to take out this supply bar here, meaning that it has to close above the high of this supply bar. Else, if we see an up bar but it's a narrow spread up bar, then I would think that the downside for Hang Seng is probably going to play out, and we might be just breaking this low here, or probably trade below the midpoint, and probably towards the low of the 18,461. I would certainly hope a low volume test at this level before we will see Hang Seng going to move up. Else, if we have a high volume down bar closing on the low below this level here, then I would think the 1800 or the 18,000 level will probably be in danger. On the upside, I would really want to see a good up move with increase in volume taking out this bar. That's probably very crucial on Monday, meaning that if on Monday we are able to see a up bar closing above the high of this bar here, this down bar here, then I think we will probably have a higher chance of seeing Hang Seng moving towards the 20,000 level in the later week. Else, I think we will be trapped in this big trading range here, and probably for a week or so, and then we will have to see what is going to happen probably next week if given if it's going to trade within the trading range. So generally, direction is not very clear for Hang Seng, and I do not really wish to participate in this market at this moment, as it has some weakness and also some strengths that are negating each other to make it in a very neutral position. So I will probably stay aside from this Hong Kong market. So that's my take for Hong Kong market next for the coming week. Let's go to the Singapore market. Well, in Singapore market, and this is STI index chart on the weekly basis. This week we still see a push up above the previous week high or previous week close on the up bar, and but the spread is now narrowing, and we have a serious overlapping of the bars. Volume is lower, so there is some lack of demand in pushing STI up, especially when we are coming into the 3,000 level, which is a very critical supply area. So, and we are also breaking out of this supply line, but we are trying very hard to rally away from the supply line. On the weekly chart, we are seeing a very good rally after this very serious pullback, and then we are seeing this very good rally with ease of movement to the upside. So now we are seeing some shortening of a thrust on these two bars here, so I am still expecting some pullback to come on the weekly chart, but we are not closing any lower. So this week we might probably be seeing STI trying to move up in the early week, but then probably going to pull back into the range of this week, probably coming to test the low of the week of this weekly bar. But in this range here, I was also expecting some thing to happen, because I was expecting some absorption behavior to happen, because this is a very serious supply area, and to knife through this area easily up and then going to trade towards the high of let's say 32,000 level, which is a little bit difficult to happen, because this supply will have to deal with and have to absorb. So I would be thinking that there might be some absorption behavior happening at this level here, given that this strong move hasn't been seeing any very significant kind of pullbacks, although we do have some pullback on the intra week this week, but it wasn't a very serious one. So on the weekly chart, I would think that we might be coming into a critical level of absorption behavior, building an absorption behavior here, so we probably want to see it happen there. So let's take a look at the daily chart. On the daily chart, we are still in the technically overbought position. We broke the supply line, then we are staying above it. We are now continuing to be in the overbought position for almost 2 weeks. So I would be thinking of a pullback. At least on the Monday, we have a very serious pullback, but the volume is not increasing. So there is not much supply coming in here, but that is just due to lack of demand. And then the demand came in on the Tuesday and Wednesday, where we see another push up above the high of the previous week, and then we close quite good on the high with an increase in volume. So that suggests that the STI will really want to go up. Then on the next bar, on the down bar here, we are seeing not much of an increase in volume, so, and the spread is narrow, so the buying is still continuing at this level here. And then now we see some selling coming in. Probably people are waking up for this up move, and then they are coming in to sell, so that's why we see the spreads narrow where with increase in volume, so there is some selling coming in, but we are still seeing a very good close. So on the early week, I might be thinking that we probably may have another narrower spread of up bar, probably closing above the high of this this bar here, but if we do see a negative down bar closing below the high of this bar, then I think the pullback is probably going to come, and hopefully to come back to this level for a test, and or give us a spring, or may some acting like some shakeout. But if that doesn't happen, I would think that it will trade in a trading range, and hopefully to stay above this level of the 2950 level, staying above there, form a trading range to give us a some absorption behavior kind of characteristics. Therefore we are able to probably anticipate that the STI might break out of the high of this year and try to make another new high for this year. So that is my take for the STI on the coming week. On the downside, I do not really see much downside on the STI because basically this trend up is so strong. Any downside would just be a normal correction, so I would not probably think that it's going to be a turning point for STI. However, I think the up move is probably going to be limited at this level here because of the supply area. So that is my take for the STI for the coming week, and I wish you trade well and be careful out there. I'll see you next week. Thanks.